guys, this is what I look forward to all winter long, is getting time to sit on this river deck, have a cup of coffee, watch the ducks fly in. I am so blessed, that's all I can say, to have this little piece of ground that I'm just tending until I'm not here. And I have put in a good week or a few days of tending this garden. It gets so exciting this time of year. And I'm going to show you what all has gotten done. In fact, I get so excited, I delete videos that I forgot I hadn't even put up because
we spent hours doing that video, you know.
no, we didn't.
Yeah, it was
So
a lot of hard work. I was sweating.
You were
It was so
sweating,
much work,
yeah, I believe it. But what I've done without showing you is I've gotten my perennial hanging basket planted. I love in the shade garden, and that's what I want to see, just repeating the foliage that's in the garden. And I did add a little heuchera, but this same pot has been taken out of the ground and into the pot. This is its third season.
That was the one that was in the video that we deleted.
Yeah, there's two that I did. So anyhow, but the view from this point, and I'm going to let Reg to sit down here and show you the view from this angle of the shade garden, is just gorgeous, because you can pick up on the Japanese maple back there. Of course, by now you've probably seen if I haven't deleted it, the ground cover videos. The red bud is still showing its beautiful blooms, which catches on the creeping phlox. Absolutely beautiful. And I was telling Reg this morning, his piece of art, Hello, has all the colors of this garden. It's mainly white, green, black and white, pinks and purples. And I just saw that this morning when I was doing it, because you can see how gorgeous the white violets add to the simple hosta, whose name I don't remember, but it's consistent throughout. And this shade garden just thrills me so much. Last 2 years, I've added to the really dry shade along this willow tree some really beautiful shade-loving plants.
This is really turning out nice.
Yeah, I mean, it just pops. Again, our view from the deck, this is what you see first, and then it makes your eye look left or right. And, I'm taking a cue. I watch Monty Don a lot, and he has said, because they've had climate change in England where he gardens, and he let some things die by not watering them. We'll wait on Mother Nature to do it, because we weren't used to last year's summer season. And I am not waiting. The problem is it's April, and we had 82.
It's the end of April.
It's the end of April. Yeah. It is the end of April.
Yeah.
It passes by so quickly. But we've had mid-80s, like today's supposed to be 85 or 87.
86.
And we've had winds. Today's going to be calm. Things dry out. So in those pots, I have put diapers in there to help keep them hydrated. And I'll link a video where I've done that before. I just use a cheap diaper, put it on the bottom of your cocoa liner or in your pot, or even in my ferns on the front porch. I put them and wrap them like a little baby's bottom, but it holds the moisture and also helps keep them from getting so dehydrated when they're in pots. It really works. My neighbor taught me that years ago. But in the garden, I was noticing...
What do you do meantime, though, in the garden? I mean, it's okay for the pots.
Oh, in the meantime, like yesterday, I got out and watered, because it's been, I don't know how long since it rained, but I have some of my, what's really nice is my transplants of the larkspur. I wanted to get them watered, and they're doing really well. These small little transplants that were winter sown in the jugs, I've gotten them into the garden. And my newly little planted columbine, the swan violet white or swan white violet.
Yeah, that's a beautiful
flower. And then I started noticing that my alliums are coming up. Look at these iris buds.
And there's some over there too.
Yeah, I mean, they're in the back. The irises, these are the pretty little purple ones.
When
they're
does this
already
happen?
up.
Does it happen overnight?
It happens overnight, Reg.
Yeah.
My primroses were looking a little wilted because they like a little more shade, and they've all popped up, so it's nice. My columbine, which are not ruffled, are coming up. Oh, and here's Shirley Temple peony, and all the peonies now are budding, which is it. Last year they budded early too. It could be a great year. Foxglove blooms. All of these back here should have blooms on them, so it should be full in color, gorgeous. And I never know what color we're going to see, whether it's white or purple. And those are my purple trees that Reggie has done for me on metal. All of this art is been hanging here. I never take it in. I don't know how many years, but I love it. He's an artist. We do some shows sometimes, or he does shows. He's doing one this weekend. But I love purple in the garden. The primrose just looks beautiful. I love how they've just taken off, and I've divided some this spring. But these were daffodils. Once they die back, I have the Dolce Wildberry Heuchera.
Yeah, they've really popped.
Yeah, give you a bolt of color. Behind that, I have, I forget which daylily. Is that Reggie's Black-Eyed Girl or something that I just made up a name? Can't remember. The sedums will come up beautifully. And things just look really vibrant. I'm hoping for this cloud of blue from the forget-me-nots. I want to see that. I want to see that so much. The other thing that's catching my eye this morning, catching yours too, is I redid this garden, I think last spring. The heucheras.
I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but I see it in my eye. It's just a beautiful little corner of color there.
It is. And what was difficult about this, it gets a little morning sun, as you can see. It gets shaded, and then we get a little sun, probably around, I think it was noon yesterday. And then the sun goes over, and this is shaded again. So these heuchera can take shade, partial sun, shade, and they make it pop. Along with right now the primrose and these patriot hostas. I love their vibrancy. Yeah. And the ajuga right now in color. And as I've said, even when the blooms are cut off, the foliage gets this real dark coppery color, which is lovely. And as we look across, of course, this tree is magnificent. As you could see from Reggie when he sat down, it draws your eye right to it. It looks gorgeous this year, which after that winter, you just don't know what was going to happen. We did redo the island bed. And I just love how the dappled willow is doing what I want. I want a little dappled shade, but I wanted the color, and I wasn't certain it would look right in here, and it does. And this was a shrub, a little small shrub that I bought, and I tree formed it, and I'm real happy with it. You can start seeing some variegation.
Yeah, I was going to say, where's
you can start seeing some of the tips looking a little variegated with the new growth. And I'm hoping we see some of well, you can start seeing a little bit of red on the new growth on the woody stalk too. That's what I liked about it. But these wonderful these were called bowling ball.
Mr. Bowling Ball.
Mr. Bowling Ball.
You gotta say
Mr. Bowling Ball. They've held up beautifully through that big snow. There was just a little, I cut it out, a little bit of dead at the top, but I tell you, they held up really, really well. So I love this look now. Those were daylilies in here, and they bloomed out so early, and they got burnt from the heat last year. I thought I don't want to see that all season long. So I got rid of them, gave the daylilies away. This bed always looks beautiful with the daylilies. But I've also noticed, I didn't realize, look at the larkspur.
Honey, we took a bunch of larkspur out of it last fall.
2 big clumps.
And put over there.
Yay.
Now, what is this? This is all over the place.
That's larkspur.
Yeah.
And I'm excited because it's a real airy plant, and it can reseed. I just didn't think after I mulched this so heavily that it would reseed through the mulch, and I was wrong. So if you don't like it where it is, you can dig it up and put it somewhere else. But I'm enjoying this bed since we did clean that out a little bit. Oh, here's a weed. No one else notices, but I'm going to pull it out, and I'll get it later.
Well, now it's on camera now.
I know. But I want to show you like I said, there's so much white and green. Look at this variegated Solomon seal. Isn't this spectacular? Spectacular against this hosta, whose name I don't remember. And these little bells are phenomenal. They bring out the variegation.
They have that height that comes up behind the The hosta.
The hosta. It
You
is.
can really see it.
It looks phenomenal, particularly with the white violets. The white violets make this whole shady area
Again,
pop.
you really may not be able to see that on this video. However, to the naked eye, it's just white. It's just like
it's
a carpet.
lovely. I think it's probably more visible in that corner and against the tree because there's other colors to make it pop. But and the little white violets, like I said, they've been here 25 years, and this is all that they've really increased on, but I love it. But we come down here, and this is the other pot we put together 2 years ago, and I just always dig it out and put it back in the soil. My experiment this year is, because the two junipers were taken out due to a disease last fall, I noticed yesterday, Reg, that this stays shaded till about 1 o'clock, maybe even 2, and then it gets sun. But if you keep it watered, and I keep jugs of water down here. If I keep it watered, it should do well, because this same hosta is over in the sunny perennial border, and it adapted real well. It doesn't even get burn spots. This heuchera is Rose Granita. We'll see how it does in sun,
a little more sun, yeah,
late sun, which I'm not that happy with. But excuse me, but the rest of these should do, because these ferns are on the riverbank, and I love that look that the video started, where they're just getting ready to unfurl. I love the emergence of spring. Now you can see I got the stump out yesterday, and it was stubborn, and it was just me. When you have 4 hands doing it, I think the first time we took the first stump out, it was only 2 hours or an hour and a half maybe. This took a little longer, and actually I was taking a break. Reggie came home, and I had dug everything out, and I just needed him with that big spud bar to give me some oomph to get it out of there, and it's a heavy sucker. But it's done, and now I can think about what tree I want to put in here. I'm thinking, I really would like something blue, and I've always liked the Picea pungens. I just need to decide how big it gets and if that's what I want. I would rather find a blue evergreen that doesn't get more than 10 feet tall and stays a little narrow. But it was so good to do that, and that's behind me. Now we can just move forward, which I like. So what we're going to do now, up on the deck, and I want to show you not only my other garden, which I love, the water barrel garden, but the seedlings and how they're doing with their hardening off process. So these are my cosmos. They're about 3 days behind the geraniums, which are staying out all day, all night. And so these are doing really well. My giant zinnias, they look pretty good today. I up-potted them. They may have gotten a little too much water. I'm letting them dry out a little more. Same thing with the cosmos. But I mean, the geraniums, wow. They are doing just what I hoped. I've already taken 1 bloom off, but these are going to be ready for the window box. And they're, like I said, they're staying out all night. I ended up with only 1 loofah, which hopefully in the next few days it can go in the ground. And not everything's a success. So I have these were my little morning glories, and I don't know, 3 weeks ago they were in tiny little 1-inch pots, and they fell completely on their heads. You can see this one bent, and I transplanted them into a bigger pot. They had some new growth on them. I thought, well, I'll cut the dead off of it, and then they've just died. So I'm going to plant them directly in the soil, and a lot of you know, I think even by next week, I can plant my morning glory seeds by the pergola and get them going on their own. But this bed is looking awesome. And again, larkspur transplants from just last week are doing great. I love this bed. It's doing what I want, because Reg and I, we sit up there with the heater on, and we can see this through all winter. This bed looks nice through the winter. The primrose are absolutely fabulous. I notice I'm going to dig out this little guy right here and put him down in another garden because I really love this purple weaving in and out. The hellebores are, this is just looking great. I love it. Easy to maintain. All of my peonies have buds on them. Just doing what we want, right? And it's the end of April. The fig tree I brought out, and it looks fabulous. It's up on the deck. Yeah, Reg, let's just take a peek at that. I'm learning on how to take care of my fig, so I know I need to prune it back a little bit. I was reading up on it, and I can take out like this sucker here, but I'd like to find out more, and I'll call Sylvia, who gave me Ophelia, ask her what she does when I feel like it's looking really floppy. But it's been out all night. It hardened off beautifully, and there's a few figs. I lost a couple bringing it up. But here's figs. Last year I had a great production, so hopefully next year I will too. So that's it for a nice morning in the garden. Everything's hardened off. And you know what? Hardening off is not for the faint of heart, because they're like your babies. And once you take them out for an hour, then 2 hours, then it's going to get really cold. And so you have to put them back every night until 3, 4, 5 nights when you know it's going to be nice and warm. And dragging this tree in and out from outside to under the deck, that wasn't fun. But is it worth it? Yes. Is it worth it seeing, even though you lose a few for the many? Yes, because all of those plants are going to be interspersed in the big perennial border. I can't imagine the cosmos and the giant zinnias. That's why I do it. That's it. Early morning walk through the garden in April. Thanks for watching, guys. This is Teresa, gardening on the West Fork, Zone 6B, knowing to water things. Work with your eyes, not with Mother Nature. We'll see you the next time. Bye.